Welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. It is so nice to have you here. So we're going to do a lot of stretching. We're going to do a lot of standing in the beginning. Remember, how far you go and how far you push yourself is completely up to you. We're going to be doing a lot of balance work. So if you want to have a chair or something close to you to help and aid in that, or maybe there's a wall close by that's open, feel free. Let's just take a moment and really let go of whatever we were doing before we stepped onto our mats. So mountain pose is a great way to do that and to find the connection to the ground, feet together, or I like to encourage you to have them shoulders width. This gives us a little bit of the connection to our footwork to start with that balance. So as you're here, take a second and push from side to side, or move forward and back and feel that rooting or that connection to the ground. This is what builds our balance, just even starting right now. Knees are nice and soft. Lower back is going to relax down, and we're going to reach our fingers towards the earth. So we pull our shoulders down. We lift through the crown of the head, having that length through our neck and our spine. And then if you want to challenge your balance a little bit more, we can close our eyes and feel the connection to our bodies. So this time is to connect to your breath. Breathe in through the nose. Fill the upper lungs, the lower lungs, and the belly. And then breathe out through the nose or the mouth, whatever feels most comfortable. But I want you to connect to the ground. So imagine yourself growing roots deep into the earth, and then feel light and airy through the upper body, lifting through the crown of the head, bringing that space to your vertebrae and your spine. Nice deep breaths. Relaxing while strengthening will be our entire goal for the day. Nice stretch and strengthen all at once. We'll start right away with inhaling, arms up overhead. Exhale down, just connecting our breath with the movement. 2 more. Inhale up, feel that connection to the legs as you lengthen through the fingers and release. 1 more with the feet grounded. Lifting and release. Now coming into our toes. So coming up as high as feels good. Inhale, lift up off the heels. Exhale, lower down. Feel the weight even from the big toe to the little toe. So lifting and lowering. Couple more. Pushing yourself to your limits. So whatever feels good. We don't want to topple over. We don't want to feel like it's too easy. So what's the in-between? 70%. Always listening to our bodies. 1 more. And release. All right. Finding that rooted feeling again through the feet. We'll inhale and come up. And then we'll exhale and fold from the hips, bend into the knees, relax everything down. So release the head, neck, and shoulders. Maybe you shimmy the ribs from side to side, finding a little bit of space in the spine. You could wrap the hands to the elbows if that feels good. And then it's really going to be up to you. You can roll up slowly or challenge your strength and straighten the back by flat back on an inhale. Look up and out. And then exhale all the way up. Roll those shoulders back. So we're going to do a couple more, finding length in the lower back. Half sun salutations. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. Arms out or front or to the sides, and relax head, neck, and shoulders. This time we're going to go flat back on an inhale, and then we're going to exhale and fold. So it's kind of like a reset, and then release that lower back a little bit more. Now keeping that flat back, we're going to inhale and come up. So flatten your back, squeeze the glutes, and come all the way up. Arms up if you'd like, and release. We're going to do 2 more. So we're kind of building that energy, getting the circulation going. Inhale up. Exhale, fold from the hips. Inhale, flat back, look up and out, lengthen through your legs, and then exhale and fold. Maybe bend into the knees. Inhale all the way up. Try to use your belly, your core, your glutes, everything, and then release. Feeling a little bit warmer now. Let's inhale, go up. Exhale, fold. Maybe bend into the knees. Flat back, look up, lengthen through the spine and the legs. Fold and release. Inhale all the way up. Arms overhead and release. Nice. All right. So we're going to work on those hips a little bit first before we get into some more balance work. Couple of options here. We can have a nice small stance with our hips open and then turn in for warrior one. Okay, most important things, we're going to run through this quickly. Knee over ankle, back foot 45 degrees, knees in line, okay? Do not have the foot open and the knee turned in. Make sure the knee follows the direction. The lower you go, the more strength you need, the more you have to be open in your hips, okay? If you want to, you can go into a lunge, lifting that heel up off the ground, square up your hips and push your heel down. This is going to open your hips up in a different way. Remember, the goal is to have the arms nice and relaxed. So even though the arms are overhead, palms facing each other, their shoulders are hanging down. So I want to invite you to find a little bit of strength and a little bit of stretch. So again, feel that length through the hip, lifting through the spine, even if that foot is down, turning from the torso. We're going to just move and flow just a little bit, okay? So we're going to open to the side, ground that foot if you're in a lunge. Just reach and extend out. Keep that knee in line. Quickly moving through. Remember, our focus is going to be stretching and balancing and a little bit of strength. Straighten that front leg, extend, and just fold a little bit. Just a quick breath here wherever you are. You don't have to come all the way down. And then inhale up. Just a quick little flow here. Reach overhead and extend and stretch through those ribs. And then release. All right, we're going to move into the other side. Just opening up our bodies a little bit, building a little bit of heat. Remember, alignment is key. So again, nice small stance if that feels good. Arms overhead. Knee over ankle. Knee in line with that back foot direction. You could even do a high lunge here. Turning on that ball of the foot, turn the hips forward and push into that heel. It's going to be completely up to you. You're going to take a few breaths here. Find that length through the fingers, even if the arms are far apart. Push into that heel if you're in a lunge. Find that rooted feeling in that front foot. So we're pushing and supporting from the back and front legs. One more nice deep breath here. Really focus in and then ground that back foot if you're in a lunge. Open your torso and your hips to the side. Reach through your fingers. Find yourself nice and vertical. Find that length, that opening through the hips, and now straighten that front leg. And we're just going to reach, and maybe we just fold a little bit. How far you go is up to you with how straight you can keep your spine. Reach that top arm overhead, and then we'll come up on an inhale and reverse it. Nice big stretch through the ribs here. Really find that length and then release. All right, from here, getting a nice forward fold in, toes to center. So they point in, make sure you're on one line, at least double shoulder width. You can go as wide as feels good. We're gonna inhale and come up. And then as you fold forward, you can bend into the knees if that feels good, but think about folding from your hips. Relax the head, neck, and shoulders down. Try to find a little bit of release through the spine. So we're lengthening by folding, relaxing the head, and then lifting those hips up to the sky. Your choice, slowly rolling up or hands on the hips, flat back. Look up and out and then all the way up. A little bit of strength there. Okay, little bit of opening the other way before we get into that balance. Turn the feet out to the sides and just sink for a second. Sink down and come up. Little bit of strength, little bit of opening. So bending and then up. We're going to do 3 more. Ready? Sink and push. So feel that opening through the hips. Find that connection to your feet. Feel centered, rooted, and come up. Nice. All right, so now if you want to grab that chair, feel free, or getting closer to a wall for balance. We're going to find our connection to our feet in mountain pose again first. So find that connection left and right. Feel strong and stable. Okay, starting with a basic tree pose, then we're going to kind of increase where we're going. Shift to the right leg and then touch with the toes. Touch to the calf or grab the ankle so you can come to the thigh. We never want to push on our joints in any direction, so we're going to completely avoid that knee. Couple of tips: don't lock out your standing leg. Reach the arms out if you'd like, overhead, shoulders are hanging down, or hands to the heart. It's really going to be what's most comfortable for you. Pick a point to look at. Make sure that you're still breathing. If you're holding your breath, it's going to make this even harder. We actually have to use quite a bit of core to keep ourselves in this position. So we want to think about lifting still through the crown of the head. Let's take one more nice deep breath here. Great job. And then we'll release and we'll go to the other side. So first and foremost, we always want to feel that connection to our foot. So where's the weight? The whole foot should be touching the ground. And then we're going to stand up. So again, touch with the toes, the calf, skip the knee. So then you'd have to use the hand to assist and come all the way up. Notice how one side feels better than the other. And then extend out or come overhead or hands to the heart. So again, check in, relax that lower body. So we're not too bent or locked out straight with our leg. Our foot is relaxed. We're lifting through the crown of our head. And we're taking a few deep breaths. One side's always going to be better. I'm still not quite using my pinky toe from slamming it into a toy box. So you notice how I keep wobbling, but I just smile and enjoy, because you know what? Every day I'm getting a little bit better. And one day it'll be even from side to side. All right, let's take one more deep breath and then release. Relax down. Find that connection to your legs. All right, from here, we're going to do another little bit of balancing, but first we're going to release those legs and hips. So inhale up, and then we're just going to fold forward again. So find that hip connection here. Find that release through the spine, and then slowly come up. Kind of resetting yourself, and release. All right. So this one's going to challenge us a little bit, okay? So if you have something behind you, let's get that out of the way first. All right, so from here, we're going to lift up our leg. I'm going to show you the small version first is touch. And then we lift and we're going to touch back, okay? So fully standing, lift, touch with your heel, lift and lean and touch with your toes, and then come back. You can even come back to center. If you can, we're going to lift, we're going to extend, And then we're gonna let it float down, and then we're gonna lean forward slightly. Now what's gonna help? You can have the arms up, you can have them out, but what's gonna help is moving slowly with intention, slowly folding forward, picking that point that you're looking at, and then coming back, doing whatever feels good with your arms. So again, you could lift, extend, slowly go back. This is building strength, core, back, hips, and balance. So again, it would be lift, straighten, or touch, lift, and touch to the back. All great options. Let's do 2 more. Wherever you are, however you can create balance and stability in your body. Last one. Really finding your coordination. All right, ready? We're gonna lift, and you can grab and hold if that's possible. Get a little bit of a stretch here through the hips, and then release. All right, other side, finding that balance from left to right away. Okay, find that connection to your foot. Pick up slowly. Again, you can lift and then touch and lift and touch back. Really great option. Just doing this touch really challenges our balance by leaning, or come all the way up, extend out slowly. Think about letting it come through and back. Okay? Again, do whatever feels good with your arms. Okay? Maybe as you lean back, pushing those arms out feels really good. But just think about lifting, engaging the whole belly core area, and then leaning that little bit. Having to use that lower back and hip area. Relaxing that foot and then pushing it out so that it can go smoothly through. So again, it would be lift, tap, lift, touch back. Wherever you are, 3 more. Almost there. Great, great work. Okay, come up. Using your breath, check in on your standing leg, not locked. All right, last one. And release. Come up. If you can, pull it up or just go back to standing. Pull up, find that relief in the hip, and then relax. All right, now that we got the quads fired up, let's give them a little bit of stretch with the balance. So finding connection to the right foot, bend at the knee. You can grab your pants, you can grab your ankle, or you can take a strap around the bottom of your foot, holding on to something if that feels good. Bring those knees together. Find a nice stretch. Try to relax the left shoulder down. Even though you're using the hand to assist, we still want to relax. If you'd like or can, lift the right arm up, and then you can lean forward a little bit, intensifying that stretch. Okay, it's going to be up to you where you want to take it. Remember to breathe. Ready? Release. Come back. Relax down. Find that connection this time to the left foot. Balance first. Hand, pants, strap, whatever feels good. Remember, knees are close together, trying to point that leg down. Using the arm to assist. Relax the shoulder. Take a few breaths here. And then again, there's always that option that you can lift the arm up and then you can lean forward. So kind of finding balance by extending that arm out and lifting that leg up. Check in on that standing leg, not locked. That really affects our balance more than anything else. Come back and release. From here, a little bit of stretch, a little bit of strength. We're going to come back into that side position. This time doing an extended side reach. So traditional method is heels in line. For stability, I always want to encourage you to give yourself space between your heels. Okay? Knee over ankle, extend the left arm overhead. Remember, if you want, you can always intensify things by leaning down and touching a block or the ground. But remember, absolutely not necessary. Okay? Listen to your body. Length through your spine. Finding that stretch by keeping the knee over the ankle and not letting it fall in. So we have a stretch through the hip area and through the ribs is what's most important. Okay? Let's do one more breath on this side. And we'll come up on an inhale. Turn and move to the other side. So adjust your feet accordingly. Get that space for stability. Doesn't have to be a large stance, okay? Knee over ankle. Don't let it fall in. Leaning into that forearm. Extend the arm overhead. Now again, remember, that option is always there. Not necessary. Work on the hip area. Find length through the ribs. Avoid that kink in the arms. Just listen to your body. What do you need right now? Feel the feet connected. A big part of our balance actually comes from feeling connected to the ground. So feeling the whole foot on the mat. One more breath. And then inhale up. Reach both arms up and release. One more forward fold this way. So feet width, double shoulder width, toes point in. Okay, folding from the hip area. This is your priority. Knees in line with the toes. That's why they're pointed in. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, really think about folding from your hips. Relax head, neck, and shoulders. Maybe bend into the knees if that feels good. Let's take a couple of breaths here. And if you'd like, walk your hands over to one side towards your one foot, opening up the opposite ribs for a breath. And then back to center and across to the other side. Again, thinking about opening the opposite ribs for a breath. And then back to center. Really let the head hang down. And we're going to slowly come up. Hands on the hips, all the way up. All right, from here, taking a moment, come back to that mountain pose. Getting a little bit of spine work in here. We did a lot with our hips and lower body. Find that connection to the ground here. We're going to inhale, reach up, find length through the spine first. And then exhale, arms down, shoulder height. Turning to whatever is comfortable. Don't have to go too far. Come back to center and then across. Priority, don't turn the hips too much so that the knees are compromised. I want you to find that connection to your footwork and just turn upper body. Feel the whole foot. Feel how it changes as you turn. How can you make your weight even from side to side, even though we're turning the arms? Using the torso, keeping the hips neutral. All right, let's do a couple more. All right, back to center. Arms come up, big reach, and then release. All right, you might know where we're going next. We're going to combine this with a stretch. So bring those legs out a little bit wider. From here, we're going to reach those arms out into our star, and then we're going to turn. So again, you can touch to the knee and come up, or you could reach all the way to the ankle. The priority for you is keeping a straight spine. So maybe you don't bend very much at all. Or maybe you can come all the way down. It's completely up to you. So keep that spine straight and think about turning as you tap, and then use this core or the belly and abdomen strength to come up. We're also using the glutes. So we're using a little bit of everything. Strengthening, stretching behind the legs, feeling it through the hips. We'll do a couple more rounds here. Think about having a nice straight spine, using that rotation side to side. Let's do one more complete round. Up. Last side. Maybe you have one more, up to you. And then we're going to come up on an inhale. And then we're just going to fold on an exhale. Take just one breath here. And then slowly come up. Nice and slow this time. Let's roll those shoulders back. Taking a moment. I'm going to give you two options. You can slowly come down onto your mats into child's pose, tucking your heels under your hips, your knees under, or you can insert a half sun salutation. Third option, downward dog. So not a full one, but just a kind of 3/4. Inhale up, exhale fold. All the options are there. Inhale flat back. Exhale, bend the feet so you can ground the palms, step back, drop to the knees and go to child's pose, or lift the hips and go to downward dog for 1 second. Feet are hips distance apart, pressing into every inch of your palms. One more breath, maybe pedaling the feet side to side. And then back to plank. Drop the knees to the ground, relax the feet. Everyone into child's pose. Head, neck, and shoulders are relaxed. Hips are hanging by your heels. Maybe rest the palms stacked so that your head has a place to go. Maybe your head's on the mat. It's going to be completely up to you right now. Taking a breath from everything. You could take your knees to the edge of your mat and your big toes come together to change the stretch in your hips. But it's really going to be up to you. And as we're here, I want you to draw that focus back to your breath. Feel the belly expand into the thighs. If this is ever difficult, you could always come into what we call as a puppy pose, where we extend our arms out and we just have our hips tilted a little bit higher and we fold. This gives us a nice stretch through the chest area. But the goal here is to think about lengthening the lower back, letting the hips soften and open, and just taking a moment to rest. All right, inhale and come up. Nice and slow. You're going to take a moment, realign the knees under the hips, the wrists under the shoulders, maybe taking a blanket underneath the knees if that feels good. From here, we're going to find the kind of neutral tabletop position is what we call it, engaging the abs. Press out of the shoulders, unlock the elbows, relax the feet so that they're getting a stretch on the mat. Palms are spread wide. We're going to lift that left arm up and just reach to the sky. Find a nice stretch through your spine here and then lower down. And we're going to do 2 more. So our goal is to just think about twisting open. How does this feel different than our standing variation? Come back. All right, on the last one, we're going to thread the needle and come through. So we're going to take our palm across our body, palm facing the sky. And we're going to turn, bend into our left arm so that we can eventually come down onto our shoulders. So release, relax on the side of your temple. You can take that left arm out long. You could relax. You could take that other arm around your hips and bring it to your thigh. Wherever you are, I want you to think about bringing your hips back to center. So we have a nice straight spine. We're getting a bit of a stretch around the shoulder blade. You might feel it through your lower back. And we're just going to do one more breath here. And then we're going to bring our palm back towards our shoulder. And then bring that other arm out in front. Reach towards the front of your mat and just push back. Nice stretch through the spine here. And then come back. Wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Other side, so lifting up and then release. Try to keep everything centered as you lift. And then come down. One more, lift. And then thread through. So palm facing the sky. Bend into the other arm. Come down onto the shoulders. And then reach out. Relax down or take that upper arm around the back, reaching for the other thigh. Most importantly, check in on your hips. When our hips are centered, we get more of a stretch around our shoulders. This can feel a little awkward. What we can do is use a blanket or a pillow to give us that extra lift to find a place to put our shoulder. From here, one more breath. And then same as before, that upper arm's going to come back so that we can push up and out. Reach the arms out first. Push out of the palms. Find a nice stretch through the spine here. And then before we come onto our backs, we're going to do a baby cobra. So we'll come down onto our forearms, nice and slow. Stretch out one foot with the toes touching, then the other, and slowly come down. Relax everything. Try to find a little bit of a comfortable position here. So maybe let's pause for a second and lay on our mats. Find length through your spine. So nice long spine here. Feet are relaxed and about hips distance apart. And then we'll come up. We'll just draw those elbows under our shoulders. Palms are spread wide and thinking about opening the chest. Relax the belly down. Head's nice and neutral. Just a little bit of a stretch here. And release. Lower back down. From here, we're going to rest our head on one side. We're going to have our elbows out towards the side, and we're going to think about bringing our right knee up towards our right elbow. So draw it up to the side so the inside of your right foot is on the mat or the floor. The higher we lift that knee towards our elbow, the more we'll get out of it. Now you could have your head resting on your hands, or your arms could look like a field goal post or cactus with your palms pressing into the ground. The goal is to have a very relaxed opening of the hip for a few breaths. Again, how high you go with that knee is going to affect how you feel in your hips. And then release. Draw that right leg back. And then switch to the other side. So this time left knee goes to left elbow. Inside of the foot is on the mat. We take a few breaths. Relaxing every part of your body. Just using gravity to assist with the opening of the hips. And then we'll release. Come back to center. Now you can take a moment and just rest here before we turn over.
Or if you'd like a little bit of a quad stretch again, draw your heels towards your hips. Now you can do one side at a time, grabbing for the foot and just press that heel in. Or you could do both, 2 breaths on one side, 2 breaths on the other. Or grabbing both hands for both ankles, pressing through, lift the chest a little bit. Maybe relax the head. And if it's there, you could lift up. So you could challenge yourself balancing on the belly, push the feet out with the hands, and last breath, release down. Everyone's going to slowly push back into child's pose. So bring the hands underneath the shoulders, push up and back. Big stretch in child's pose with those arms out nice and long, finding that length through the spine. And then we'll come back to tabletop. We'll come and turn slowly. Nice, really slow movements there after laying down on our bellies for so long. Take a moment, knees up, lower down, nice and slow. Take a second here, lift the hips, let the lower back get a little bit closer to the mat. Now you have 2 or 3 options, I should say, hips, knees, and ankles in alignment for a few breaths. Feet out to the edge of your mat, knees into the center, or feet touching in the center, knees open to the side. Take the hands and put them in whatever position is comfortable, and just take a few breaths here. Allow yourself to just relax, feeling that belly naturally rise and then fall towards the earth with the exhales. One more nice deep breath. If the knees are open, we'll use the hands to the thighs to assist. Everyone will bring the knees to the chest for a moment, hug them in tight, finding that length through the lower back area. And then let the feet hit the ground. We'll bring the hands down towards the hips so that we can press into the palms and shoulders. Those arms are nice and close to the body. 2 options. Everyone brings the knees to the chest. You could point your toes towards the sky for a few breaths. Knees are nice and bent, just reversing blood flow. Or if you want, push the heels out, trying to get one line, hips, knees, and ankles, reversing blood flow while getting a nice stretch. Check in, chins lifted to the sky. We're going to take 3 more breaths here in whatever variation feels good for your body. Again, it's really great to just have those legs lifted, still using the abs. 1 more breath, and then release. Knees to chest. And let's stretch out those legs nice and long. Entering into our final resting pose. Remember, this is just as important as everything else we've done in class today. Feet are hips distance or shoulders width apart, dangle to the side, palms open to the sky, space between the arms and the side of your body. Give yourself this moment to really just let all of the energy reabsorb into your body, to allow your spine, your hips, your mind a moment of rest. Try to relax the space between your eyes and soften the jaw, neck, and shoulders. Let your breath return to its natural rhythm. And it's natural to find your mind wandering. You can choose to focus on your breath, maybe placing one hand on the heart, one on the belly, or you can choose to envision your favorite place and try to use all your senses to create that reality. Bring a smile over your face as you enjoy that place, that space, that moment in time. Taking just a few more breaths here. It's a really important part of our practice. Two more nice deep breaths. And then we'll start wiggling our fingers and our toes. Roll your wrists and ankles. And then bring the feet together and the arms overhead. Big stretch through the front of the body. And then relax. Lifting the knees so that the feet hit the ground, and then we can lift our hips and roll over to one side. Again, moving nice and slow. Taking a moment to pause, we'll use that top arm eventually to push up into a seated position. Just taking a moment here in stillness or movement by rolling the shoulders or circling on the hips forward and rounding the back. And just take a couple more breaths here. Find that great movement in whatever way feels good. We're all going to get there eventually, so just listen to your own bodies. Pause for a moment. A lot of work put in today, a lot of energy moved around. We tend to hold emotion in our hips, so it's always good to give ourselves that grounding moment at the end. Whenever you're ready, come back to center and neutral. Take a nice deep breath. Try to let your shoulders hang down a little bit more. And then maybe with a smile, we inhale and we find length through the spine, reaching up. And then the hands come together, palms down to the heart. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you're feeling great and you enjoyed today's session. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.